And we are live.
Let's go.
Ayo, it's time to go. Yeah, you know what it is. Get into it. Don't act like you don't already know the name. Let's go. Mother and son making sense out of nonsense. Plus more. What? You heard me. Mother and son making sense out of nonsense. Plus more. What? I said you heard me. Mother and son making sense out of nonsense. Plus more. What? I said you heard me. Mother and son making sense out of nonsense. Plus more. Now it's on. Now
Woo-wee. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to What Happens When a Mother and Son Make Sense Out of Nonsense.
Plus more, we've got a lot more. We talk about spirituality, our relationship, how we've evolved over the years, and what's going on today.
Well, what's going on today? I'm glad you asked. By the way, just to introduce myself, I am a mother, but happiness specialist, inner peace practitioner, but more importantly, a student. And thank you for asking what went on today because, Lord have mercy, what went on today?
And I
Oh,
am
oh,
a very grateful and gracious son. I teach group fitness classes, everything from yoga to weightlifting to dance. I also am a performance artist and I teach and guide meditations.
oh, and sing sound bowls.
And singing sound bowls.
Lord.
Home.
Oh.
So we like to jump into each show with the word of the day, and then we'll get into some topics around spirituality, what's been going on this week. And I'll start off with a word that is a word that I do know, but I don't use often, and it's assurance. Assurance, ASS, urance, URANCE, a quiet spiritual certainty that things are unfolding as they should. Calm and confident sense of certainty, often rooted in faith, intuition, or inner knowing. Example sentence, even in the chaos, she moved with quiet assurance, trusting that the universe was guiding her exactly where she needed to be.
What a word. Wow, I love that word assurance. And before I go on, to all you fans, whether it's one or zero, like and subscribe, like and subscribe. And we are sponsored today by not only the Owl app, but Voss Water, the wetter, better water. We all know that wetter water is better. There ain't no another water other than this water is better. Voss Water, the better water. Thank you. My word of the day, you're going to love this, Nathan. I have a little story attached to the word of the day. It's a quick story. It happened this morning. 6 a.m. I'm at the gym. I'm actually at the gym maybe 10 minutes to 6 because I have to make sure that I get the machine I want as opposed to let Susan getting it. Anyway, I get to the gym at 6 a.m. early, it's dark, and my neighbor across the street coincidentally the pool opened, so he's up over there swimming. And he said, "Wow, he calls me Rebecca. Wow, Rebecca, you look like you had a really rough night."
That's always nice to hear.
By the way, he can't hear; he's deaf. And so that's number one. Number two, there's a pool monitor. The pool is open and she's talking loud and she's saying, banging on the window, the door should be open. Why are the lights on and the doors are open? Where's the desk monitor? She's telling other people that are waiting for the doors to open, come get closer, get closer. And she's so loud. I just turn my head and I start looking at the flags flying. And then when is this wind going to end? Then the doors do open. I'm the first one because the guys let me in first. My card wasn't working. Of course, it wasn't scanning right. I'll have to scan you in manually. And she's scanning. Everybody's lined up waiting for me to get scanned in correctly. It's Morrington, isn't it? Rebecca Morrington? No, it's Norrington. Then I go to my machine, and of course, the fan over my machine isn't working. The television isn't on. Bottom line is, my word of the day is enlightenment. Enlightenment. And what does enlightenment is the most basic definition, encompassing the process of gaining knowledge, understanding, or awareness. What am I aware of? What do I know? I know that none of this shit is important, that the only reason I would be bothered is because I'm not in a state of neutrality. I'm thinking there's something wrong with the desk monitor, my neighbor, all of it. If I, when I say I, Rebecca, navigated through this life and it's all neutral, everything's happening for a reason, and quite frankly, all the shit's meaningless anyway, that's enlightenment.
What a great intro, coming in with a bang. What I think they should have asked you, rather than is your name Morrington, was, is your name Soarington? So that's my question to you, is bringing back one of our themes and topics from shows ago, which we haven't touched on recently, but were you a Soarington or not?
I have to say that I was not a Soarington, but I grew into being a Soarington. I was batting those. Whoa, wow! You look like you had a rough night. I mean, can you say anything worse at 6 a.m. in the morning and the loud talker? So I was managing. I was batting. I was striking. I was hitting. And then after a while, I stopped hitting home runs and started sinking in, and the neutrality left. And the thing that I think kicked it over was when it's Morrington, isn't it? And it's Morrington, and everybody is waiting in line. I mean, there's about 10 deep. So it started. So when I say awareness, enlightenment, and the awareness, it started wearing off. In other words, I couldn't hold on to it, but I was holding, and then it slipped. But when I was on the elliptical, and by the way, she tried to turn the fan on, didn't work. And then of course the TV is she turns it on to an infomercial. I said, forget it. And I tried to practice trying to find something humorous about it, because it is funny. I wasn't laughing until I shared the story with you.
Yes, we've talked about that so many times, with the humor. When can we bring humor into this? When is it funny? And it's funny when it's time for it to be funny. I mean, I'm hearing so much in your story. I didn't really feel the Soarington. I felt I just think sometimes external things can just add up in a comical way. This thing goes wrong. That I trip over this. Somebody says something over here. I felt like that on Thursday. I felt like I was going crazy because I was.
Please share.
Well, I thought I was doing okay. Then I was headed to the gym to teach a couple evening classes. And I could tell I was getting a little Soarington in the car, but just a tick, tick, tick. And then I was, yeah, just started getting bothered by little things and somebody talking and in my way. And then I taught my class, and there was a low number of students in class comparatively to the week before. And that was a tough pill to swallow. I know not to take it personally. Who knows why? Doesn't mean anything about my skill level or who I am. But I felt a little down, and then the people that were there couldn't seem to catch on to the rhythm of the class, which is so important to me. I love dance and I love music, and I like people staying on the beat. And it just wasn't a very music. I know it sounds like control, but it's really not control. It's just a
It
preference.
doesn't sound like control. It is trying to control. You like people staying on the beat. Good luck with that.
Well, I had very bad luck, because it just some people are just not beat inclined, musically inclined, and that just happened to be with people that were not, then that was getting me down. I was giggling a little bit. And then I go to take a break between classes in the back room in the locker room, and someone had their bag too close to my leg, so that bothered me. And then I realized that I was really getting, as grandma would say, ticked off by by every
Sorrington.
a Sorrington, a Norrington and a Sorrington, by every little thing. And I felt maybe this is similarly to your story. Maybe this is just one of those times where we are getting just baseball, 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 baseball. They're just coming at us, and we only have so much capacity to stay in the ring.
We,
Well, you would agree, wouldn't you?
I would agree. You and me. So let me ask you. So what classes were you teaching? Just to be the names of the classes.
The name is called Rhythmic Sculpt. So it's intended to stay on rhythm. And then the second class, it really is, it's like aerobics, just with weights. And
Okay.
the second class was restorative yoga, very subdued, calm, gentle.
Okay. Well, let me go back to your rhythmic, and I'm just thinking, don't close your ears, Nathan. Put your hands over your ears. I don't want you to hear this.
Oh, don't worry. I usually have my hands ready to close my ears when I'm talking to you. No
Perfect.
offense.
No offense taken. I didn't take that personally. But back to you, I just thought of something that would be the best to do is just to send all people to your class that they have two left feet, and you have a whole full class of 25, 30 people with left feet and nobody's on the beat. Wouldn't that be funny?
That would be really fun. It really would be funny. What a prank.
To put the camera on your face. Oh my God, just to keep it on your face.
That would be real. That would be a welcome prank. Yeah, I'm not a big prankster, but every once in a while I get a prank that really hits where it's just offensive enough, but not super offensive. And yeah, that would be what kind of alternate universe hell am I in right now? And is this a joke or not?
Speaking of alternate hell, didn't you hang up on me this week? Didn't I prank you, which was the best?
Was that this week? Yes, you did. You did prank me, and I still have the address written in my notes. But just a brief synopsis for all of our listeners,
All of our fan.
all of our fans. So we were having a really, really lovely conversation. I was asking for help about next steps, career, life. We were going back and forth
On the phone.
on the phone. We had an hour-long conversation. It was honest. We had spirituality. We had humanness. It was really a very quality conversation. And at the end, she asked me to write something down.
Then, what I
Oh,
said is, I said, I have a solution to your issues and your challenges. I said, write this down, write this down. And the sucker, I mean, my son, immediately got a pen and pencil because of my sincerity that I delivered the message. And I said, write this down. This is going to help. This is going to help you.
yeah, so I was very eager to follow. A lot of trust has been built up, not only in that conversation alone, but over the 40 years of my life with her, building trust one little step at a time. And in my trusting, suckery self, I started writing down, and it ended up being the address to my mother's house. And I realized when it said sundial drive or something, I just rolled my eyes and I pressed a big red button and hung up on her.
Yes, and it was the best hang up. It was one of our favorite games to play is hang up on each other when you don't suspect it. And especially right if you're in an emotional state or a vulnerable state or a trusting state, that's the time to hang up. I love that.
That's a little prank, and it actually is a prank that I do like. And we've had a journey with that prank and finding the right times. And sometimes it's funny. Usually it's funny. Sometimes it's not as funny. But I think in the last at least 10 to 15 hangups have been funny and light and fun.
Yes, yes. But let's get back to the show. Enough about us. Let's talk about us with this. What you said was what you said was everything is irritating. And so I get that. And to be aware of that for me, it was more that wasn't that everything was irritating, but there were so many things that went, air quotes here, wrong, from the fan not working to the TV not on, then infomercial ever went wrong. But I was practicing laughing, but I was very aware. And you're right, I wasn't as sore, but trust me, I can get into that Sorington. But enlightenment means that it's just an experience. Can my ego be okay with just experiencing all of this? And that's a practice. Moving
Well,
on to the next topic. Go ahead.
yeah, I'll just finish it up by that enlightenment, because I wanted to piggyback off of that and say, what am I getting from this? What am I learning about myself in this particular instance? And maybe in that instance, or at least for me on Thursday, I learned that I only have a certain amount of peace that I can maintain. Sometimes it's just I need to take a timeout or a break, and sometimes my capacity for peace is wider. And it's really learning that it's like I relate it to lifting weights. After a certain amount of time, it's time to put the weight down. I can't lift it anymore. My body doesn't have the capacity. I just need to take a little reset. So that's one thing I learn about myself a lot, which is what's my capacity? What's my strength in this moment?
I'm gonna take what you just said and go a little bit deeper and say that my nature is peace. My nature, the core of me, if you're in a room or a house and you set your temperature gauge, to what, 68, 72. So my temperature gauge, I practice setting my temperature gauge at peace. Now, regardless of what happens around during the day, and I know what you're saying, feeling, I'm going to speak for myself, feeling that the tank is empty, I don't have anything else to, okay, I'm done. But there is still my point is, I never lose the peace. It's always there. And it just might be I need to take a break, or need to hibernate, or need to be away from stimulus, or all of the above, and I need to experience all the stimulus. But I never lose the core of what I am, which is peace. That's
Really
enlightenment.
that is enlightenment. I love that, because that reminds me that there's really nothing I need to do more or work on or strive for. It's actually just a settling back into my chair. Wait, let's remember who I am. And all these little irritants can distract me or pull me away from what I really am all the time. So I love that perspective of my nature is peace, because there are, even in this spiritual path, uh, I feel a pull to get to it, to strive to it, and to think like this is something I'm reaching for, rather than it's something that's already here.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah.
Standing ovation on that one. Yes. Yes. Ooh, good one.
Yeah. Do you have any topics or something that someone's written in, or?
I do have a question. I just dropped it. A question that I asked in my class is, list what you were programmed to believe in what a successful, happy life looks and or feels like. Did I ask that question before? No, list what you were programmed to believe in what a successful, happy life looks or feels like. And then the second follow-up question is, what's another perspective?
Wow. Well, what it looks like is smiling all the time, happy all the time, popular, for me, popular, money, traveling, loving the job. I love my job, family, 2.5 kids, white picket fence, nice neighborhood, nice neighbors. It looks perfect for me. The feeling is the feeling's the same. The feeling is constant happiness. And then another perspective is that's helped me is happiness, the feelings going in a wave, but it's not a big wave. It's just a little wave here. And then sometimes it might spike up or spike down, but it comes back to what you're saying, the nature. That's my new perspective of what success feels like. Letting it be a little wavy, but a slight up and down wave. That's successful to me.
And so I have a follow-up question, which is, do you feel, do you feel, do you know, do you believe that you are successful in this moment?
After that question, I do. After that question. But the success, I think the other falsity around success is it's something that's not here right now. And that's the carrot for me, that success is something in the future. And you asked me, do I feel successful now? Wow, I mean, that really forces me to be in the moment. Because if I were to say no, that's really, then I think I would always say no.
Not think, you would, and that is the point. That is the point. For me, this racing, listen, I'm a little bit older than you. I'm 69, a little bit older. So this chasing an accomplishment or things or situation, I've lived. I've lived in my dream home. I accomplished. And I'm telling you that the peace was not in that house or in that surrounding or even purchasing it or living in it. The peace was not there. The peace is not in this house. It's and I know, Nathan, if someone, tomorrow, $500 million, if I'm not feeling peaceful right now, I'm not going to feel any more peaceful with $500 million. That's a fact. Or global, or everybody knows me, or more popular, or we have more than one fan. We have 5 fans now. No, if I'm not conscious of this peace, contentment in this moment, it's never going to happen in the future. That's a fact. That's enlightenment.
That is enlightenment. It's what is success. So it really comes back to the moment, and every moment is so uniquely different. It's such an opportunity to be in this moment with everything that's going on, with whatever feelings are happening in the body, whatever thoughts, whatever external stimulus is happening. This is a unique, once in a lifetime moment, every moment. And that is the truth. And yet to strive for anything outside of the moment is just another carrot for my ego to have something to obsess about, to chew on, to be dramatic about. And when I hear you talk about the moment, I can feel all those little energies and entities in me settling down, taking a seat, sitting back, all the little voices that have something to say, that have an opinion about what's going on or what's going on with me.
Well, what a segue. Well, I need to get a gulp of my Voss water here. Voss water, waiting for you to call me. Let's get the sponsor on the. Let's sign some contracts.
Yeah, I think that I don't know about Voss Water. I'm getting a little resentful of sponsoring them without them sponsoring us and giving
Well,
Voss Water too much of our time here.
well, keep your resentfulness in the closet. We do not bring the resentment out in this. No, keep it. What did they say on Seinfeld? Stuff it in a sack.
Okay, stuff your sorries in a sack.
Yeah, stuff your sorries in a sack. And in fact, I have a list of what I wanted to talk to you about. And okay. Okay, but staying on this topic, here we go. I transcribed this from a video. It's about time. You were just mentioning it. There is no time, period. Have you ever been to the past or the future? No, you think about the past, but you think about the past now. Have you ever actually been to the place called the past that you think about? No, it's not possible. No one has ever been there. It's a belief. It's just a belief that we're all taking for granted. It is your experience that the now is moving along a line of time from past to future. Is the now moving? And how long does the now last? It doesn't. It doesn't last. The now doesn't last in time. There is no time for the now to last in. Now is not a moment sandwiched between these two vast spaces. There is no vast space aside of now. Now is not a moment. That's a new age idea. Now is eternity, the ever present, not the everlasting. But when the now is filtered through the limitations of the mind, it appears as time. The mind is in a prison that refracts the now, which has no dimension, into a single dimension of time.
So what did you hear in that?
What I heard is that this thinking, this present moment, this is the key. Now is not a moment. Now is eternity, the ever present, not the everlasting.
I heard the same thing. I heard the now is not a moment, now is eternity. It is always now, ever present, not everlasting. That's pretty deep. That's a little bit of a mind boggle. I mean, if anything has an advertisement, an enticing invitation to the present moment, that was it. I'm thinking, I got to get present. I got to get into the now after reading that.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. Now is not a moment. It is now is eternity, the ever present, not the everlasting. Thank you, anonymous spiritual speaker on a video that I had to transcribe.
Yeah, well, It's just so interesting because the ego just it's all over the place. It's past, it's future, speculation, philosophizing, yapping about whatever is going on, analyzing, judging, and it just seems to want to live anywhere but the moment.
That's right. And so I have a question for you. If in 3 words or less, what is your perspective of the state of the world? Someone asked me this yesterday.
3 words or less.
Mm-hmm.
I would say the perspective is growing and changing.
Oh, and that is a perspective without any judgment, without any ego on it.
Yeah.
I love that. My answer was divine order.
Ooh, that's a good answer too. Let me just get my notebook out. One of my kitties is laying on my notebook, so we got to get a notebook out. Yes.
Which one is it, Looney?
It is. Good call.
Hi, Luna. She likes
Perfect.
the show.
Yeah, she does. She's a little star baby, star kitty in the making. Maybe she'll have
Yeah.
her own podcast one day.
Maybe it's the meow.
Meow show.
Yeah,
What? Not the not the what is it? Not being in the now, being in the meow.
oh, now that's good. Being in the meow. Oh my God, that's really good. A spiritual cat show. Write that down.
That's really good. I'm gonna write that down because I'm everything cat. A spiritual cat show. I'm gonna have to write that one down.
Talk about a spinner, and then you have to come up with a cat theme.
That's really good.
Yes, of course. That's the beauty of this show. You watch creativity in the making, right in the middle. You see, we create right in the middle, just like Jerry and
Larry David.
Larry David. Yes.
If he has
Now,
two first names as last name.
get it? Two last names, two first names, Larry
Yes.
and David.
Yes.
Well, that's crazy. Well, let me. So I have a question that I wanted to ask you because we were on the phone this week, and you said something about laundry being work.
That's
You
correct.
you use that word work. And why are you choosing to use the word work when you can just say laundry is? I mean, you're already just laundry is work. Is anything work?
That's a great question. Well, what is work? And what work has this, to me, work, if I look at nature and the animal kingdom and what is work, I think of work being a predator taking time out to hunt for food. That's work to me. Now, that same predator at home in their group, with their family group, rolling around with another one, having fun, pawing at each other, that's play.
Now, okay, so you said predator looking for food. Now I wouldn't call that work. I would call that essential for life. What I would call work is a beaver gathering wood to build a dam.
I love that. I think that sounds like work to me, and it also sounds like essential for life. I mean, the beaver isn't doing it. It's essential for, I don't even know what beaver's doing. He has to live there. I don't even know why beavers do dams, but I think it is essential for life. That's a great definition, essential for life.
Yeah, and so the birds building nests. But so
Yes.
in other words, would nature label that work? Or would they label just part of the day? I'm just putting a
It's
spot
good. It's really,
yeah,
it is
putting a
part of the day.
spotlight. Yeah, because this work, because work, the way that you described it didn't sound fun.
It's not fun, and this is the problem. It's not play. It's another part of the day. Putting away the dishes, getting the mail, sending away bills, going to the grocery store is not playing chess. It's not watching TV, throwing a ball on the beach. Those are play. There's a difference.
Well, hold on a second. And who puts on that definition and who decides what the difference is and who
It's not
defines?
me. It's not me. Because if it was up to me, it would all be play.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It is up to you. Can we just switch the perspective and say all of this shit is play?
We could if we wanted to be crazy and lying to ourselves about what's really going on.
Well,
If I'm a cheetah hunting an antelope, I don't see them laughing and playing and we're playing. We need some food. And
well, that's
it takes life energy to do these tasks. And if these tasks aren't completed, now I have dirty clothes. Now I don't have a home. Now I'm not eating what I need to eat for energy to play. Work equals play. They're just different energies.
Huh. Well, by the way, one guy told me, one of my friends at the gym, I do this stand up, sit down. I stand up and then I sit down on a chair, stand up, sit down on a bench, and I bring my knees up. And he says, why do you do that? Why don't you make up your mind? That looks crazy. And I said, it is crazy. And I'm the president of the Crazy Club.
A good answer.
Thank you. Thank you. Speaking of crazy, let me share with you what happened to me yesterday. You know how your mother is, if she's in deep thought and someone comes in the same room, there could be a chance where she just starts screaming. "Ah!" She's startled. She's in her own mind, and it's happened with you millions of times. It happened when I was working. All my coworkers would walk around and I'd scream. So 2 days ago, I'm sitting in my car and I'm doing, I don't remember. Maybe I was looking at the phone. I'm sitting in the car. I just finished shopping. And then this woman opens my passenger door, and she opens it and I just start screaming. "Ah, ah!" And she looks at me and she doesn't scream, but she's startled. So her car was next to my car. It's the same black car. It's not the same make, but she thought it was her car. And when she opened Nathan, I screamed so loud and I scared her and myself. Can you imagine sitting in the car and someone opens up your passenger door?
Now that is scary. I have to give you that one. That's very startling.
It was very starting. And then she spent 5 minutes apologizing and I said, I've done the same thing. I've tried to open other people's car door, but it's not my car.
That's a really funny story. And I've done the same thing too. I walk right up to it, put my hand on the handle, but I've never been able to open another person's car door.
Me either, but I've tried.
Now, this is really an interesting, since we're on the show and what's going on? What's going on with the deep thoughts and emerging, being scared with the scream? What's going on here?
And so this is what happens. The poor victims, our
Me,
friend CEC, Mary supervisor, and you name it, anybody.
Mary.
Mary from 227. Mary. Shout out to 227.
None of them are listening to this show, but you never know.
How do you know?
You never know. Shout out to 227. We loved you for whatever, 4 or 5 seasons, however long we watched that show.
Mary. And if you haven't watched 227, just search it on YouTube and just type in Mary 227 and have a ball. You'll be able to relate.
Search vintage comedy sitcoms.
Yes. So what was I saying? So there's just been a variety, a limitless amount of people that have scared me.
And that you have scared back. So what's going on?
Well, guess what? This is the answer. Your mother's a screamer. Your mother gets startled. Your mother's like a deer. Your mother's in thought. And that's just part of her nature. Because I'm a screamer. On a ride, I'm a screamer. If I'm on a roller coaster, I'm not a quiet sufferer. I'm just,
And it's really just as simple as that, because I was thinking about deer. We had a lot of experience with deer in Roseburg where I got to observe them firsthand. It's one thing watching them on National Geographic and having someone talk about them in an isolated incident. It's another thing living amongst them and observing their behavior. And they are very, very aware, sensitive to sound animals. And they get really still and then they zip off.
skittish, like rabbits, deer. They
Skittish.
just get that And I have to say, are most animal, not most animals are like that, but I'll throw in lizards too. Lizards, deer, all those animals that live on the edge of, I mean, talk about high state of anxiety.
Yes. And the cats too, because cats are prey and predators, and they have a skittish nature to them as well. And every little sound, embracing themselves. And Lexi is more vocal than Luna. She just had her voice comes out more. So that I think your answer is suffice. That's just the type of animal you are, and that's
Thank you.
that.
Yes, yes. And that's your mother. Yeah. So, yes. Yeah. But anyway, I thought that was an amusing story.
Funny.
What else? What's another topic? Let me
Well,
look.
let's do a brief touch on next week because I'm going to be visiting you,
Oh,
visiting your class, your happiness class, doing sound bowls and short performance. So there's a lot of got some good mother son in person energy putting our forces together.
yes. Two titans coming together in an elevator.
Two billionaires,
Two
billion
billion dollars in an elevator. That's what happens when $1 billion in an elevator. Well, we did tease this. So we talked about questions. May I
Okay.
share the
Yes,
questions?
and we might have to double tease because we're running out of time.
I see the clock. Okay.
Well, keep looking at the clock because the time's ticking.
Tick tock, tick tock. Questions. There are no real questions in existence. All questions are false because life is not a problem to be solved. It's a mystery to be lived. Only fools go on questioning and thinking that some answers will help them. No answer is going to help you. Every answer will create more questions. You see, a whole history of philosophy, every answer has raised thousands of unnecessary questions. It has not been an answer, it's a problem. Not one single answer has come out of 5,000 years of philosophical questions. Buddha has been reported to have said that a meditator loses all of his questions. A moment comes when there are no questions left. And that moment is when you attain wisdom. Wisdom is not an answer, wisdom is an unfolding of your consciousness. It's not that you have to know something, but you start experiencing life in its totality.
So my question is, what does that all mean to you?
There are no questions, so I have no answers.
Well, I figured you'd say something like that.
Well, this is the answer. The answer is there are no questions. My head is supposed to be empty. Supposed to be empty. Just like a baby. What you pop out? Wow, looking all around, curious about everything, experiencing everything before the programming. Empty head. No questions, just an experience.
Oh, I love the empty head. That clicked me into to the present moment. I think when I think of a baby, or I put myself in a baby's shoes or a baby's booties.
Come
Better
on,
say.
little mini me, come little baby, little mini, little me, little mini, come here, baby, come here, nighty baby.
I really got to watch my baby talk with the cats because that can really go over the top, and that's really not okay.
You two baby talk with my granddaughters. That's terrible. What are you doing? Stop it.
Well, that was the question, and that was a judgment, and we're not paying attention to either one of those.
By the way, when you were born, one of the things they said is do not do baby talk to a baby because then they'll
Oh,
start talking. They said do because then they'll start talking. Hey, little baby, and then the baby will start talking to them. Oh, I remember little baby. So baby will start talking baby talk. So talk to the babies and talk to everybody like you're normal.
well, now you tell me. No wonder I have these cats running around here doing whining and baby meowing.
They're just imitating their alpha male. Yeah. Oh, look at it. Ooh, little kitty, meow, meow. That's all your fault.
Well, just another thing to take responsibility for.
There you go. So you talk baby to those. No wonder they're whining and meow, meow, as opposed to meow.
I'm gonna have to save this for the Living in the Meow podcast. 'Cause this is a really good first topic. Talking baby talk to your cats and how not to do baby talk to your cats.
Or any animal or
Well,
any person.
well, in all due respect, baby talk is for babies, so I don't really see the problem.
No, that's a made up thing that's very detrimental to their development and their cognitive dissonance. That's very detrimental to talk baby talk to anyone. Baby talk should be banned.
Canceling baby talk. Well,
That's
well tune in next week because we're gonna continue.
Tune in next week. Little baby, we're talking about baby talk.
Baby talk. Yes,
Which is
we're gonna cancel
worst.
the the question. The question, which we're not supposed to have any questions.
There are no questions.
But if there was a question, it would be, do we ban baby talk or not? That's for next week.
The answer is yes.
Oh, well, we don't have the question anymore.
Oh my God.
That
that's
really
so
tickled my funny bone.
And with all that, I guess the show is over. This has been a jam-packed. Let's go.
Well, I really hope people are listening to this one. But 227, everybody. Thanks for joining up. See you next time.
Ayo, it's time to go. Yeah.
No
You know
baby
what it
talk.
is.
No baby talk.
Get into
Wow,
it.
I really got me.
Don't act like you don't already know the name. Let's go. Mother and son making sense out of nonsense. Plus some more. What?
No
You
baby
heard
talk.
me. Mother and son making sense out of
Baby
nonsense.
talk.
Plus more. What? I said you heard me. Mother and son making sense out of nonsense. Plus more. What? I said you heard me. Mother and son making sense out of nonsense. Plus more. Now it's over. Now let's